Nation.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So it's been slow motion for Naoya Inoue ever since he beat Stephen Fulton back in 2023. Now, Naoya Inoue, he was supposed to fight Sam Goodman this past weekend, but Sam Goodman pulled out. So Naoya Inoue, he ended up fighting against a very overmatched last-minute replacement. Now, it would almost be understandable for Naoya Inoue to be fighting this level of opposition in his last 2 or 3 fights if there was nobody viable for him to fight in this weight class. But there is. Instead of fighting Yi Jun Kim or TJ Doheny, Naoya Inoue, he could have took the biggest fight at 122 right now, which is against his mandatory MJ Akhmadaliev. In fact, according to Eddie Hearn, Naoya Inoue, he has already turned down that fight 2 times, and he's about to turn it down a 3rd time. Eddie Hearn predicts that Naoya Inoue, he would rather vacate his belt than fight the very dangerous, hard-punching southpaw MJ Akhmadaliev.
Naoya Inoue is straight ducking MJ Akhmadaliev. He's been ordered to fight him twice, right? He's had 2 gimme fights now instead of fighting Akhmadaliev. And now, well, tomorrow, no, Monday, the WBA will write to Naoya Inoue and they will say, enough's enough. You have to fight Akhmadaliev next, or you will be stripped of your WBA world title and you will no longer be undisputed. And watch this now. Naoya Inoue will vacate his WBA world title.
You don't think he takes that?
No way, no way. Watch this now. You can play it back if I'm wrong. And Naoya Inoue is a pound-for-pound great fighter. Amazing. He has ducked Akhmadaliev twice after an order. Now he's getting ordered for a 3rd time. And he will give up his right as undisputed champion rather than make a mandatory defense against Akhmadaliev. Watch.
Just to give you guys a little bit of contrast, do you guys remember when Crawford was at 147 before he fought Sean Porter? Do you guys remember when people were actually accusing Crawford of ducking Sean Porter? Because Sean Porter, he became Terrence Crawford's mandatory. Can you guys imagine what would have been said about Terrence Crawford if he decided not to fight Sean Porter and actually decided to vacate the belt rather than fight his mandatory Sean Porter? And instead, in his next 2 fights, he fights a TJ Doheny or a Yi Jun Kim type of opponent. Old media would crucify Terrence Crawford. Now, so far, Naoya Inoue, he hasn't vacated the title yet. But my point is, we all know that Terrence Crawford, he would have never vacated his title if he was staying at 147.
Now he's getting ordered for a 3rd time. And he will give up his right as undisputed champion rather than make a mandatory defense against Akhmadaliev. Watch.
What does he do if not, though?
He goes and fights somewhere else. He's talking about fighting Picasso in Vegas. Who gives a fuck? Excuse my language. As an undisputed champion and as a world champion, you have an obligation to fight your mandatory contenders. Now, sometimes if it's a no-name, then I understand look at Canelo against William Skull recently. Canelo vacated. That's not, this is the best fight in the division. Tell me a better fight at 122 than Inoue against Akhmadaliev. It doesn't exist.
You know, it's so funny because while Eddie Hearn brought up a good point when it comes to William Skull, obviously Canelo wasn't avoiding William Skull when he vacated the belt. But the irony is Canelo Alvarez, he refused to fight his mandatory David Benavidez. And yet, as an undisputed champion, Canelo Alvarez, he had an obligation to fight his mandatories, as Eddie Hearn just said about Naoya Inoue. Canelo Alvarez, he also vacated his WBC belt at 160 when he refused to fight his mandatory Jamal Charlo. So while Eddie Hearn is making sense when he talks about Naoya Inoue, he needs to say the exact same thing about Canelo Alvarez.
And Naoya Inoue, you're the undisputed champion, and you're going to no longer be undisputed because you've ducked Akhmadaliev now 3 times. Watch this space. He will vacate the title maybe next week, But in the next 14 to 28 days, Naoya Inoue is vacating the WBA title.
Now, there's no doubt about it. The whole purpose of being an undisputed champion is to be the champion of all of the organizations, all of the belts that you carry. That means you defend your title whenever you have a number one contender. This is the whole reason why we have a ranking system. Contenders, they do all of this hard work, fighting their way to the top of the ladder so they can reach the number one spot so they can be guaranteed a title shot. And for whatever reason, Naoya Inoue, he really, really respects MJ Akhmadaliev. I mean, Inoue, he would be the favorite to beat MJ. But there's something obviously that Naoya Inoue sees in MJ. I mean, let's not forget he also avoided Guillermo Rigondeaux as well. You know, with Inoue planning on fighting in the States this year, a fight against Akhmadaliev, that would make the most sense. I mean, Naoya Inoue, he fought this past weekend, and it didn't create too much buzz. Not too many people are talking about it. So Inoue, he's going to have to decide. Either he's going to take the biggest fight at 122 against MJ, or he's going to move up to 126, where the names are. Now, Eddie Hearn, he said that Naoya Inoue, he shouldn't even be on the pound-for-pound list if he's not going to fight the best. He says that he should be kicked off the pound-for-pound list.
Talking about a pound-for-pound fighter, who's he fought this year? TJ Dehenny and that geezer he's just boxed last night. That's not a pound-for-pound resume. He should be dropping down the pound-for-pound list. And no one seems to ever question it. It's like, oh, well, it's Inoue. Fucking, so what? And before that, if you actually look at his resume, he boxed Stephen Fulton, don't get me wrong, good fighter, didn't look great in his last fight, did he? Got dropped, scraped to win. Lewis Neary, who's like, not really, and he dropped him, right? Tapales, okay, you know, he I think got the wrong decision against Akhmadaliev on a bad night, so, but, I don't know, like, I'm not, and by the way, he's brilliant. He's the favourite against Akhmadaliev, but it's the best fight in the division. And I go back to, like, I don't know, AJ, when the mandatory was called against Usyk, and it's like, no, we're not ducking this because, like, you'll be ridiculed and it's just what you do. And everyone said, don't fight Usyk, don't fight Usyk. And he went, no, fuck that, I want to be undisputed. Let's fight Usyk. But why? No one's asking what media out there, right? These guys aren't that accessible, are they? I don't think. No. Like, you ask me a million questions a day. You when you go and ask a question, who has said to Inoue, can I just ask a question? Why aren't you fighting Akhmadaliev? And he will go, oh, my team is in charge of that. And they go, all right, well, fucking ask the team then. Why? 3 times. Why are you prepared to lose your tag of undisputed rather than fighting? Naoya Inoue, just wondered, are you going to fight Akhmadaliev? Or next question. Next question. Take him out the pound.
Genuinely,
take him out the pound for pound list.
The truth is, old media, they don't want to see Naoya Inoue take any more tough challenges. They were calling him pound for pound the best fighter over Crawford before he even beat Stephen Fulton. So now that he beat Stephen Fulton, they don't want to see him take any more tough challenges. Old media would honestly rather see Naoya Inoue fight TJ Doheny for the rest of his career and still say that he's pound for pound the best fighter in the world. This is what they did with Golovkin, and that was before he even fought Canelo. This is what they did with Chocolatito Gonzalez before he even made his debut fighting in the States. The standard is set so much lower for fighters on the hope list. Now, with that being said, Naoya Inoue, he's definitely a special talent. I mean, if you're comparing him to someone like a Canelo Alvarez, Canelo is nowhere near on the level of a Naoya Inoue when it comes to talent. I'm only talking about what old media wants. Now, I don't think they're going to get what they want because eventually Naoya Inoue, he is going to step up and take on another tough challenge. We just don't know when it's going to be. With that being said, I'm going to wrap this video up. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, fever blisters, diabetic ulcers, this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called Elo Diki Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to elodiki.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram. Let me tell you guys about Issa Israel Law Firm. It is a full-service legal practice based in Denver, Colorado, an emerging hub for combat sports and high-altitude training. If you're a fighter inside or outside of the ring and you need a law firm you can trust to fight for you, visit thefighterfirm.com or email help@iilawfirm.com. Legal representation is usually limited to plaintiffs or defendants in Colorado, but iFirm can help anyone in the world with trademarking their business name, logos, and U.S. immigration issues. This brother has been my attorney for a while and helped guide me through all kinds of business and civil issues, so make sure you guys go to thefighterfirm.com.